For years, we've all heard about it. A handful of states have become this promised land for people looking for a change. We're talking Florida, Texas, Idaho. They're practically shorthand for a fresh start. But what if that dream is starting to sour? What if the promise for a lot of people is already broken?
Come on, admit it. Have you ever found yourself scrolling through house listings in some other state, just dreaming? Picturing yourself trading those gray skies for endless sun, or all that city noise for the quiet of the mountains? It's such a powerful fantasy, isn't it? The idea that a better, cheaper, simpler life is just one U-Haul trip away.
Well, before you start packing those boxes, let's just pump the brakes for a second. We need to look at the fine print. Because for a growing number of folks, that dream destination is turning into a bit of a nightmare. The very things that made these places so popular are actually being destroyed by their own success. So what is going on here? I mean, sure, each of these states has its own unique set of problems, its own quirks. But when you look closely, there's one common thread, one massive issue that's tying them all together and turning those dreams into regrets pretty much across the board.
And that common thread? Yeah, you guessed it. It's the absolutely astronomical rise in housing costs. It's the most basic story in economics, right? Supply and demand. When literally everyone wants to move to the same few places, well, the price of admission goes through the roof. The number one reason people wanted to move in the first place, affordability, is now becoming the number one reason they regret it.
And I want you to really look at these numbers. It's not just the prices are going up a little, it's the speed of it all. This isn't some gradual increase over a decade. We're talking about since 2020 alone. Home prices in Idaho and Utah have just exploded by nearly 56%. 56. North Carolina over 52%. People are walking into a financial pressure cooker, and a lot of them don't even see it coming. Okay, so let's start our journey out in the Mountain West. This is a part of the country that's sold on the promise of escape, right? Fresh air, wide open spaces, getting away from it all. But what happens when tens of thousands of people all try to escape to the exact same place at the exact same time? People move to places like Idaho for a calmer, simpler life. But as one person put it so perfectly, Idaho has turned into a pressure cooker disguised by pine trees and fresh air. All of a sudden, you're competing for everything. Housing, of course, but also resources, a spot on the highway, a table at a restaurant. And it goes way beyond just the cost of a house. The day-to-day reality can be a real shock to the system. You know those beautiful, snowy winters? Well, they can be incredibly isolating and brutal, especially if you moved there and you don't know anyone. And here's the kicker. While the cost of living has shot up, the wages often haven't. So you feel that strain everywhere, from roads that are suddenly packed to just trying to get a doctor's appointment. And believe me, this isn't just an Idaho thing. Look at Montana, a state that is practically the poster child for getting away from it all. A more than 52% jump in home values since 2020. I mean, that rugged, independent dream is now financially out of reach for so many of the people who are chasing it. All right, let's shift gears and head south to the Sun Belt. This is a region that has absolutely blown up in popularity. We're talking millions of people drawn in by promises of mild winters and a lower cost of living. But that incredible popularity is creating a really serious squeeze. It's just too much, too fast. So let's take Arizona as an example. The dream is so simple, right? No more snow days, no more shoveling the driveway. But the reality is you're just trading one kind of prison for another. The summer heat is so intense, so brutal, you're literally trapped indoors for months, just watching your AC bills go through the ceiling. And the whole time, this very real threat of running out of water is just hanging over everything. And you can draw a direct line between all the people moving in and the housing crunch. It's cause and effect. Look at Tennessee. A house that would have cost you $230,000 back in 2020 is now pushing $340,000. That window of affordability, it didn't just close, it got slammed shut. But here's the thing. This isn't some kind of bait and switch. As one observer put it, it's just a predictable pattern. It's what always happens. The first wave of people to arrive, they get all the benefits. But if you're showing up now, you're not discovering some hidden gem. You're just showing up to a party that's already way overcrowded. And that brings us to our final case study. And folks, if relocation regret were a video game, Florida would be the final boss. It's the number one destination for people moving, but it's also a place that can wear you down in a way that is just unique and relentless. See, the way the Florida dream often turns into a nightmare, it follows a really predictable path. First, you're promised this amazing life of sunshine and low taxes.
But what you end up with is this constant battle against hidden costs and worries. And in the end, instead of feeling free and liberated, you just feel drained. It's really death by a thousand cuts. It's not one big thing. It's your homeowner's insurance doubling seemingly overnight. It's a surprise $10,000 bill from your HOA because the community needs a new roof. It's 6 months of constant, low-grade anxiety during hurricane season. It's the feeling that you can never, ever truly relax because another unexpected expense is always right around the corner. And then there's just Florida. As somebody said, those Florida man headlines don't invent themselves. The constant weirdness, the cultural clashes, it all just adds another bizarre layer of stress to an already stressful situation. So, after looking at all of these hot spots, from the mountains of Idaho to the coasts of Florida, what does it all really mean? It kind of forces you to take a step back and really truly rethink what it is we're all searching for when we dream of the good life. I think the bottom line is this: the secret is out. Once a place gets labeled a hidden gem or the next big thing, a clock starts ticking. Because the very things that made it so special in the first place, the affordability, the peace and quiet, the unique culture, those are the first things to vanish when everyone else shows up. So, where does that leave us? If today's hot spots are just destined to become tomorrow's regrets, what's the next it place? Or are we just doomed to repeat this cycle over and over again, chasing a dream that disappears the second we get close enough to touch it? It's a question worth asking.